Brothers, every single court case that I have seen when it involves homosexuality or two homosexuals in a relationship, it always results in some type of domestic violence. Every single time that I've watched one of these shows. Homosexuality is an abomination, brothers, and it is starting to run rampant. There are more domestic, even though the numbers are low with homosexuality relationships, the domestic violence is, in percentage wise, is more than heterosexual relationships. If you ever get a magnet and you try to put two negatives together, they are going to repel each other. And that's pretty much what happens with homosexuality. You have two of the same kind that cannot get along. Two men can't get along with each other, and the results is of domestic violence. Two women, that's just two, definitely two ages of chaos that cannot get along because they both want power. So some of the same things that happen in these heterosexual relationships happens in homosexual relationship is only worse. Is always fighting. But I have a video where I say that domestic violence is a you problem. So if you already know that it's going to get that it might get physical, you need to leave. And these are going to be two females that want to quote unquote experience young females experience each other. Now have no idea about relationships, but they're experience each other. But let's go ahead into this court case because it's going to be a lot of things I'm going to be pointing out with these two agents of chaos.
Plaintiff Jessica Serrano says when she started dating the defendant, their relationship was extremely sexual. However, over time, Jessica claims the defendant became jealous, possessive, and abusive. And Jessica's suing her today for unpaid rent.
You really got to wonder with two women, what sexual, what's so sexual about two women going at each other? I mean, what are y'all doing? Sharing dildos? Carpet munching? I mean, what are y'all getting out of each other? Sucking some toes? Let's continue.
Defendant Francis Bermudez Banks says if she agreed to get back with Jessica right now, Jessica would drop this case because she is still in love with Francis. Francis refuses to pay rent because Jessica made their living situation uncomfortable.
Start with you.
Brothers, she looks like she probably is a beautiful woman if she actually acts like a woman. I don't understand why a lot of our women want to be so masculine. I have no idea. Well, one of them is that they want power and they want to do the same thing that a man does, and they can't. They think they can, but they cannot.
Well, first, let me say that I'm happy we're in this courtroom today, and I'm happy Doyle's here because when she gets hot tempered, she gets real. So, thank you. If you want to come over here, that's fine. But let me give you a little background story. I met Miss Banks in October of '08, and we started dating. It was a very physical relationship, mainly sex. That was great. And
I love those.
And in December '08, we got serious and we became an official couple. It was puppy love and it was great. Kisses and hugs, I love yous, and it was great. It was my first love.
Brothers, most of these relationships, whether it's heterosexual or whatever, most of relationships always start out good. Every one of these relationships start out good, especially if it's physical. The sex is good, but you have no idea who the person really is. And that's when a lot of times these demons start to come out. Once you start to know that, once you get physical with that person, they'll the demon starts to come out in them.
First love, my first real girlfriend, and I enjoyed it. And I would say
Your first girlfriend?
yes.
Well, she turned you out. Go ahead.
Nah, that's not true.
That's what happened. That's what happened. Go ahead. How physical it was. I know it was. Wait. Go ahead.
So in early 2009, she did a whole 360. She was jealous. She was possessive. She was very aggressive with me
not
and
true.
abusive.
How
And
so?
for my birthday, she came over, and before my birthday, I had given her money and a little hint, go ahead, go get me something, and then you come back and bring it. She came and with a beer and some weed, and I'm like, that's all you got? And she's like, so I picked up her weed and I threw it, and she slammed me on the floor. And her sister had to get her off of me. Another instance was when I came home early in the morning, 7 o'clock. I just did a 10-hour shift, and I come home, sitting down, drinking a beer. She comes, oh, can I get bus money? I'm like, why don't you go ask your girlfriend that you living with for bus money?
Oh, she was cheating on you at that
Oh,
point.
yes, and we were living together.
I
And
was not cheating.
Go ahead.
sex is cheating. Okay, so she came and she took my bag and she took the money out of it and she put her hands on me and I had marks. So I called the police. Police had to come and intervene with that. They left behind a piece of paper in case I wanted to pursue getting a restraining order against her. I didn't.
Okay, I got the picture.
So you know, this is what kills me. It's like you was physically abused once before, but you still continued with the relationship. That's something that I don't understand with people. Like, if it starts to get physical, it is time to go. So that's why I say domestic violence is a you problem, because you already got verbally abused more than likely. Then you get physically abused, but you still continue the relationship. So when is it so for you to be sitting around blaming her is sad. I'm not saying that what she did was right either. But when does it stop? When do you say when is enough? So brothers, again, domestic violence is a you problem.
The picture there.
Okay.
We're going to get to the unpaid rent shortly. You want to give me some background, ma'am?
Yes, I do want to say I'm honored to be here. I watch your show all the time,
Thank
and
you.
I know not to lie to you, and also I know you don't like crackheads. I'm
Neither
not.
do I.
You heard that already, brothers. So and this is something else that I've already said before in my other videos. If you let the woman talk long enough, they will contradict themselves and they will lie. And a lot of them don't even know that they're lying. So just pay attention to this female because she's going to be doing a lot of talking and do a lot of contradiction. Let's continue.
I'm not
Probably
neither
going
one.
to get caught, but...
Nah, I'm not even gonna lie to you. There's no reason for all
right,
that.
go ahead.
To be honest, if I was to tell her right now, let's get back together, let's drop all this, everything, she would drop this case. It wouldn't even be a story right now.
Oh, that's a lie.
Everything she's doing is out of pity and jealousy. That's all it is.
Jealous of what?
Jealous of what?
happened?
Because I don't want to be with her no more. She still wants to be with me. She still
I don't
loving me,
wanna
and
be
that's
with you.
that.
No, what jealous
you
is,
lying. Have I
jealous
told you I wanted to
means
get back with
someone
you?
has something that you want.
Okay, you're right. So okay, it's not jealousy. It's just petty. It's just
Okay.
pettiness. That's it. I was her first. She was my first. Also, our relationship was very sexual. It was very sexual, and also, she introduced me to drinking, staying out late, and stuff like that. I was very sheltered, and I didn't get out much. And when I met her, that all changed. From the beginning, she was jealous, possessive. She didn't want me to have no friends. Everybody was a problem. Any female person.
How old were
That's
you
a
all?
lie.
I was 17 when I met her. She was 18.
All right, yeah, that's...
So 2 children. And again, and I've said this before, and I'll always continue to say this, the woman doesn't mature mentally until they're about 40 to 50 years old. So you have 2 children that have no idea what the hell they're doing. They over here in these sexual relationship, homosexual relationship, because they know nothing about relationship. The woman is always going to be jealous because there's a jealous spirit running a rampant in the world, especially in America. So of all that, two women, it ain't going to work. Again, homosexuality will cause domestic violence. Let's continue.
Committed relationship by two teenagers who don't have the emotional maturity to deal with the love that they are experiencing or feeling. So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
It was so bad. Like, seriously, I'm still recovering till this day with no friends because she just ran everybody away. And there was so many
Give me an
problems
example
going
of
on.
how she would do it.
My best friend, for instance, me and her we were best friends since 9th grade. We had lost contact when I moved to New York. We met in Georgia. She also moved to New York too. We lost contact after 2 years of both of us being there. One day we were on the train and she was present and I saw her. And I'm like, man, that has to be her. That has to be her. So it turned out to be her. And my reaction to it being her, me and her not seeing each other for so long, it was a good experience. She got jealous. She got jealous
What'd you do?
automatically.
Quiet, ma'am.
I was hyped. Like, we was hugging. I started tearing a little bit. Everything like that. That was my best friend, only
I know,
friend I
but
really
did you
had.
say,
Okay.
"Oh,
I
there's my
introduced.
best friend"? Okay.
I introduced them.
Here comes the contradiction in the lie, brothers. Again, if you let the woman talk long enough, they will lie and they will always contradict themselves. And again, just listen to how she's flip-flopping.
And me and her went and
So
carried
what
on
did
how
she
we carried
say
on.
to run off your best friend?
She just was like, don't call her. You can't talk to her. This, that, and the third.
And you
Just-
obeyed.
No.
So you did do it.
I still talk. I mean, I had to sneak and she would hang up on her.
So you did do it.
Yeah.
So you still have the friend.
Yes.
So she didn't run the friend off
She
after
tried.
all. She
No, 'cause
tried.
that's not, you saying the whole story wrong.
Ma'am, let's get to the
Yes,
rent.
yes. I have documents here, a
Tell
breakdown.
me what happened.
We had moved in to an apartment in September 2012, and we had agreed that we were going to split the rent 50-50. And after that, she only has paid for 2 times
What
out of
was
the whole.
her share to be?
Her share was $255 a month.
Okay. And what months did she fail to pay?
October, November, February, March. And March, it was prorated, so our rent got pushed down a little bit just for that month, and it's $235.
When
just
did
for
you all
March.
move out? March?
No, I still live there.
Oh, she was cheating on you at that
Oh,
point.
yes, and we were living together.
She moved in March?
Yes.
All right. What has been discussed or done since then?
Nothing. I try and
So
discuss
from
things with her.
October to March, there was no real discussion?
There was discussions. I used to try and tell her, you know, what are you gonna do about this? What
And
are you
what
gonna
would
do?
she say?
She didn't want to talk about it, or I'd be like, you know what, you need to go do something, go sell drugs, go get a job at McDonald's, go do something.
Brothers, I'm sure she's from New York. Brothers, leave them women from New York alone. They are very aggressive. Very. I don't know what it is about they mouth. They mouth is very reckless. Very, very reckless. You might find that maybe 2 or 3 women, 2 or 3 good women in New York, but the majority of them, they're very aggressive and they mouth it very, very reckless. Well, that's most women anyway. Let's continue.
And what did she say?
And she would just brush me off, or we would get into a bigger argument about everything.
All right, ma'am.
Yes, of course, when you move into an apartment with somebody, the agreement is to share the rent. We are in a relationship, and when we first got into the apartment, I had money up front. We both had money up front, but she knew I was working a seasonal job at the time, and the season was ending. So I feel in a relationship, you know, when it comes down to
I
situations
know that's how
like
you
that,
feel. Tell me whether you paid October, November.
I tell you, boy, a woman will go into what a lot of women do is they'll go into story mode and try to manipulate you and throw you off. That's why I like Judge Mathis. He's straight to the point. Ain't nobody got time for your damn fairy tale story, Dr. Seuss bullshit. Just get to the damn point.
November,
Okay,
February,
I have
and
a break-
March,
I
and
have
if
a-
not, why?
yes, sir. I have a breakdown.
No,
of
just tell me.
what
Did you pay
I owe her.
October?
October? No.
All right. Did you pay November?
Yes.
Did you pay in February?
Yes, sir. No. Yes, February I paid
You said no.
$210. In February I paid $210. I gave her a check. She put it in her bank account.
What about March?
March, I did not pay anything in March because she just made it impossible for me to even stay there. I was barely even there
Gotcha,
in March.
because she made it impossible for you to stay. How
Yeah.
did she do that?
She changed my key on my key ring because I didn't do something she wanted me to do, which was clean up at
She
the
locked you
time.
out.
No, she did a sneaky move. I went
Okay.
upstairs. She took my keys, changed the key, put a dead key on my thing. Pretty much like ran me out the door, and then when I come back
You left on your
to the
own.
door,
When you come back, it's changed.
my key, it's not the key.
That's
that,
called lock you out.
okay.
Again, you see this the whole like he asked her, "Were you locked out?" And she went into whole story mode. Like again, that's why I tell you, brother. A lot of time, I'm not saying that you have to let these women talk. Sometimes you got to stop them in their tracks because they will try their best to throw you off purposely. He asked her was she locked out, and she said no. But then when we get to the whole end of the story, basically she was locked out. Come on now.
Right.
So she locked you out when?
In March,
Okay.
February.
Were you able to get
February.
back in at all? Ever?
I kicked the door in.
Okay, so you were able to get in immediately. All right. So why didn't you pay March's rent if you were in there? You lived there
No.
so much so that you kicked the door in.
I didn't live there. That was an
Why did
instance.
you kick the door in? Trying to
she,
get in.
Because she was there. Okay, because
What
I
made
got
you-
because
what
I
made
got
you think,
overheated.
don't overtalk me.
Sorry.
What made you think you had a right to go into the home, apartment, or what have you if you didn't live there?
Okay, we both were living there.
You just said you weren't. Your case
You see how you see women contradict themselves all the time, brothers. First you didn't live there. You it's easy to get them because they don't I'm telling you, a lot of women they don't even know what they talking about. They talking, but they ain't talking about nothing.
is granted. You just told me you wasn't gonna lie. I
Okay.
ain't gonna lie to you, Judge. You just lied to me. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
You know it's sad. The plaintiff, she's a very beautiful woman, and she over there playing in homosexuality. But it is what it is. Oh well, she aggressive anyway, brothers. Leave that one alone. She might just be a smash and dash.
Hi.
Whack.
I'm whack, but
No,
You
to.
I bet you these two get back together. Well, I would never know, but I wouldn't be surprised if these two got back together.
To be
though, like,
honest,
you
I'm
just
not.
mad,
I'm not
like-
angry. I'm not even angry. If I owe you the rent, that's the rent money. That's how it is. Okay, you got that. Cool. We ain't gonna be together. You gonna be happy. I'll be happy. That's the end of the day.
okay.
Again, brothers, homosexuality is an abomination and it does cause domestic violence. But on that note, I'm out.